Hey guys, how's it going? Today we are going to continue working in the cut flower garden because tomorrow we hope to be out here planting the linden trees. So you can see I am standing right here in the dahlia quadrant. Most of them have already been removed, just the tops. So the roots, or the tubers rather, are still under the ground. We're going to just let them winter over out here, and whatever decides to come up next season, we will dig and transplant to another area. And then I went through with some flagging tape the other day and I tagged, I think, 11 that I wanted to keep. So I thought I would walk through some of these. I don't know the variety names for all of these, but this is a water lily type. It's beautiful. I love the shape of this one. I love the color variation of the petals. So this is a definite keeper. There's a lilac thyme right here. These are always gorgeous. And then this one is a sweet Natalie. This is my favorite creamy colored one because there's just the tiniest blush of pink inside the petals. And most of the plants, I mean, if we take a close look, most of them, like from a distance, look okay, but they're getting kind of ratty. And it's supposed to freeze tonight. So had we left all the dahlias out, they would have been taken tonight anyway. So we're just getting after it a day early. We left them as long as we could with this huge project looming that we want to get done before it gets too cold. It just had to happen. There's this one, it's called Bloomquist York. In fact, I think all of these right here were sent by Finhill Dahlias. And yeah, I just thought that this was just such a unique color and shape. It's beautiful and the plant is very healthy and large. This one I think is Hillcrest Suffusion. Isn't that gorgeous? Ugh. And then there's the Salish October Wedding. These are just stunning. There's something about the petals. They're just a little bit different than any others that I have grown before. And I just love the color. You can tell I like oranges. I like the orange and peach color in dahlias quite a lot. And then there's the Cafe au Lait Mini right here. Isn't that beautiful? We've also got this one, which I am unsure of the variety name, but it came out so different. I mean, you can see how differently the color's coming out in just this one flower, and they all looked that way. I did not realize the plant was this small though. I thought it was a lot bigger. Wait a minute. I think this might be the, this is the one Paul accidentally cut this one off at ground level and just stuck one branch in so that we could see what color it was and to indicate where I could dig up the clump of tubers. It's hard to see red flagging tape even when there's a lot of activity, like a lot of leaves and a lot of color out here. There's this one, which is Clyde's Choice, and this is just a stunner. Oh my goodness, look at that. My word. And then there's a couple of pom-pom varieties that I just think are really, really pretty. I love this pumpkin color. And then there's this one, which almost kind of has like an iridescent look to it. But it's got like some violet and pink and peach in it. And it's just so pretty. And we'll cut some of these blooms as we are cutting the plants and getting the tubers out. So that's the first thing we're gonna do, dig all the dahlias. There's just 2 T-posts left. Paul was waiting for me to get the tubers out before he removed these because he didn't want to damage the tubers. But then I'd like to go through and harvest some of the Statice. I brought some buckets out so we can just cut them and pop them down in buckets. That way we have some of this to work with in the winter. I'm gonna have to relocate old Shelob here. Been chilling there for a while. Beautiful spider. I don't want to be working around it though. And then look at this. I mean, everything is just getting so cleaned up. I'm loving it. I want to move the delphiniums. I don't need to move all of the yarrow because I can start more of this from seed, but we have the Firefly Red Pop. It's a new variety coming out from Proven Winners next year. I thought it would be nice to move these because they're brand new plants. And then with these right here, we've got a bunch of Echinacea purpurea, which are very easy to start from seed. So I might forego. I might just cut these back and then we can dig them next spring. It just kind of depends on how it works out today. I kind of wanted to harvest our acorn squash up in the raised bed garden too. I don't know, we'll just kind of start in on this and see how far we get. First, I'm gonna grab a couple of vases of some kind in here so we can pop the dahlias that are nice down in some water. This one will hold quite a few. I need like some really wide, I need buckets. That's what I need out here. These are all real decorative. Now maybe we'll do this one too. You know what? It feels like it's gonna freeze. It's chilly, like I almost wanna have a coat on right now. Almost, until I start working. cold bumble. Oh. This started out as one tuber, Cafe au lait mini. Benjamin, when I planted this in the ground, it was just one of these right here. And now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Isn't that incredible? Beautiful. Okay, so this is what we ended up with. We've got some beautiful flowers in a couple of vases, so I'll take those inside and kind of mess with them a little bit. I make several smaller arrangements. And then these are the clumps right here. So the ones that I had tags for, I just kind of tucked the tag into the clump. And then the ones I didn't have tags for, I popped the flower on. So once we get to the barn, I can label them accordingly. So like this is a huge clump, and it's this one right here. So we just have to make sure that nothing falls off. We'll see how that goes.
Mama?
Hey, babe.
Everything that frees up, like every creature, let's save.
Okay.
See one that is freezed up, let's save it.
Okay, we will do that. We came across a cold bumblebee, and so Benjamin saved it and tucked it into a warmer spot in the flower bed. And that's Benjamin's collection of blooms right there. So all of the dahlias are done, other than cleaning up the leavings from today and then digging out whatever comes up next year that we left under the ground. Oh, that feels so good, you guys. To look at the back of the gator and only have 11, there's actually 12 clumps. I didn't realize, hold on. This one right here is peach bud, and this one is Hillcrest Suffusion. I didn't realize they were kind of like mixed in together. So we have those two varieties. So 12 clumps altogether. Hey, buddy.
He really loves a pet.
Okay, next up, we've got to move that spider so that we can harvest some Statice.
Well, yeah, it's freezed up. We gotta save that.
Do you want to move it or do you want me to?
I'll help.
Okay. You know what I think we'll do, bud, is I think we'll let it crawl onto the shovel and then we'll go drop it off at another plant. Oh my goodness. Oh, there it goes. Nope, you can't be in there, dude. We gotta get you out so I know that you're not gonna get on me when I'm harvesting stuff. There it is. Okay. We got it. Should we just put him like right in here?
He'll stick.
Russell, hey, Russell, get right here. There we go.
He's in a warm.
He's right underneath the plant, bud.
He's safe in the warm.
Yep. You know what he'll probably do is come up onto these and make a new web. It's perfect because they look a lot like the plants that he just came from. Okay, I'm going to take a close look at the rest of these Statice because I don't want to get up in a spider that big. It's business. Whew. No thanks. Okay, Benjamin, take a look. Here's one. It's little though. We're looking for spiders right now. We're on a spider hunt. I just wanted to be certain because, ooh, yeah, there's some web left over.
You don't want to be up in that business.
I don't even want to be up in that business. Nope, I don't even want to feel the web on my skin because then I feel like there'll be a big old spider crawling on me. In terms of Statice varieties here, I think this is one of my faves. This is a pale blue is the variety name, and it's truly a blue flower. I mean, if you compare it next to the purple, let's just do that. Look at that. That's an incredible difference. And I like the purple as well because I feel like with both the blue and the purple in particular, you can't really notice or don't really notice the spent blooms like you do on the yellow. See how much different the spent blooms look? They're kind of brown and the fresh ones are very bright. And then we've got I think this is called Forever Silver. It's a white. And then we've got this pale pink. I love this. It's kind of like a lavendery pink, and then it has little yellow flowers that come out from it. Called Forever Happy. That's a great name for it. So I brought over a bunch of used plant cans, just empty ones. We're just gonna cut the stems just like this, and we're just gonna make little bouquets and pop them in the can like this. And they'll dry just perfectly, just standing upright, no water, nothing. So we've got all these cans. I don't know how many we'll fill, but we're gonna work on it. Benjamin just gathered up a bunch of these, and he just went to go ask Paul where Beverly is buried so that he can go put flowers right by where she's buried. Our chicken that passed away this summer. It's the sweetest thing. Look at this. Oh my word. I mean, here we are toward the end of October and we're still able to pull this much vibrant color. It's just amazing to me. Statice is awesome. I mean, I know that it kind of like goes in and out of favor, in and out of style, but I think it's just such a fun, bright, super low maintenance plant to have in the garden. And I think it's technically an annual, and I usually start mine brand new from seed every year, but I do have a lot of them return as well. So it might just depend on the year or where you've got them. But I picked the very best of the color that was in that row. I'm gonna put them in the studio for now where it's just nice and warm. And basically all that's gonna dry is the stem. The flowers, I mean, they're kind of already dry now. Some of them that are a little more fresh have a little bit more moisture, but they just dry the same color that they are. They really don't lose a whole lot of their color. It takes them a long time to lose it. So these will be fun to have throughout the winter months. Now the rest of this quadrant can be cleaned out. The Statice can be pulled. So we're ready to go here. I think I'm gonna wait on the perennials one more time because I really wanna go harvest the acorn squash because one, I want to have some for dinner, but I really just like to get that raised bed cleared out, and it's starting to sprinkle a little bit. We're supposed to get like 3 or 4 hours of rain this evening, and I can feel it coming in. And we'll check on our little spider friend who's already climbing up a new flower branch just a minute ago. Okay, so we put the spider right here, and it's already come all the way over to the chamomile plant right here. Isn't that wild? Oh, geez, Russell. Leave the spider alone. Come on, Russell. Come on, come on. Good, okay. I swear Russell just senses where we are. You're a good boy. Okay, acorn squash next. I'm gonna sneak one of these vases full of dahlias into Bethany's car. I'm gonna leave them right here. I don't think she'll miss those trying to get into her car door. On our way into the raised bed garden, look at the Ambridge roses. Oh, they're so beautiful right now. Okay, we're gonna have to hack our way through the roses to get in here. There we go. Here is our acorn squash. It's not looking super awesome at the moment. But I planted this as kind of a leggy looking plant from the garden center at the end of June. Toward the end of like carrying bedding plants and vegetables and things like that, they usually end up with a table in the greenhouse of either half off or free plants. This was in a section of free plants, the acorn squash and the, what was the other one I grew at the other end? Wasn't buttercup, was it? No. Anyway, I just decided to pop this one in here, and it thrived and it grew like crazy. And I don't even know how many squash are in there. It looks like there are several. So I'm just going to harvest all of the fruit, and then the vines all go to Bethany's pigs. Win-win. Like I can see one all the way out here. Cute little one. I've already harvested, let's see. I made 3 the other night, and then 3 that night. I think I made 7 from this plant already. So 6 or 7, pretty sure it was 7. Okay, I'm gonna line them all up right up here. Okay, let's get them all picked. Look at this, 21 acorn squash. minus the 7 that I've already harvested. 28 altogether off that one sad looking plant that I put in the ground. That is so amazing. And the way I like to cook them the best is just to cut them in half, scoop the seeds out. The chickens love the seeds. And then I bake them at like 400 for 40, 45 minutes with the flesh facing up, not down, because I like to put a little bit of butter and then cinnamon and brown sugar. So it's just like kind of a lightly sweetened sort of squash, but all those goodies kind of pool in that little bowl in the center, so you can scrape the squash from the sides and kind of like run it through all the goodies. So yummy. And now we can get this sad looking plant pulled, and we still need to pull our Jackby Little pumpkin plants as well. We did harvest those the other day. And our sugar snap pole peas that we planted is a fall crop. I mean, they're producing a few, just like a few here and there. Samantha loves to come out and eat these. In fact, I'll take these into her. Super tasty. All right, guys, the last thing we need to do is get those dahlia tubers washed off. So I like to wash all of the soil off of them, and then we'll let them dry, probably sitting in the studio for a day or two. And then I don't know, I might just store them whole and then divide them in the spring like I normally do, but I might divide them now and individually wrap them. Some people like to do that with saran, and they have pretty good luck with that. I might try that on some, I don't know. But I do know that we need to get them cleaned off and get them set to drying at this point. I think we'll do all of that in the greenhouse because the rain is starting to pick up a little bit. I don't know if you can tell. It's like a sprinkle still, but I love being in the greenhouse when there's any form of precipitation falling. It's the best place to be. Ooh, we'll probably pop the Statice into the studio as well. Okay, we've got them all here in the greenhouse. I went ahead and marked all of the clumps just on the tape. I just wrote with a marker what they were. So now I'm going to use the jet setting on the hose just to wash off as much of the dirt as we can. And then what I think I'm going to do, instead of taking them into the studio, I'm going to line them up right here on this tarp and then just cover them over the top, because I am going to flip the heater on tonight. So I don't want them to dry out too quickly. And I think just having them covered up in here for one night will be perfect. And I need to go get a tool in order to get this off, to get my dram wand off. It's on there so tight that I just went ahead and put this little spray nozzle on the end of it. It's going to be a little awkward, but I think it'll get the job done. And here they are all cleaned off. They're looking pretty good. I mean, given the fact that we plant one tuber, like one tuber, and then it turns into this many is just always so astounding to me. I can't believe it. Now that they're completely wet, I do need to make sure that they are completely dry before they go into storage. And when you clean off all the soil, and cutting water to them several days prior to digging them can help with the soil coming off a lot easier. Ours was so wet out there, and we haven't been irrigating for a while, but we have had a little bit of rain, but that soil was wanting to just stick to the tubers. But if I were to leave the dirt, which some people like to store them that way, I think I might have mentioned that before maybe, but what can happen if you leave the dirt, you might miss things like this. See this tuber right here? It's completely rotten and it's squishy and wet. Had I not cleaned off this clump, I wouldn't have seen that. And introducing that sort of thing into storage can make the storage life of everything go way down. It can cause like excess moisture issues and fungal issues and just no good. So I'll be able to remove this before we get these into storage. So I'm just gonna do one of these with the tarp, just to keep any of the excess heat off of them, but they still have plenty of air under there to dry off. Perfect. And even 12 clumps creates a huge mess. I knew it would, but I don't know if you can hear the rain. It's like coming in waves, but it's like the wind has picked up a little bit, just a little bit crummy outside. So anyway, guys, that is going to be it for today's projects. So I think tomorrow we're going to be out there planting trees, and it feels like it was a little bit of a monumental feat to get everything cleaned out. Paul and Bethany worked really hard and are still working really hard. I think Paul already went out and took those last 2 T-posts out right after I was done digging the tubers, and they've just been really good at kind of going around and getting all the edges cleaned up and smoothing everything out, removing all of the spent plants. So that's been a huge blessing. So I am excited. I am excited to move forward with that space. I'm excited to have just a handful of dahlias to winter over. Dahlias are just, they're an amazing plant, so much color, but oh, what a pain. What a pain to keep them when you don't live in a climate where you can leave them in the ground. But I'm also really happy with our Statice harvest and our squash harvest. What an amazing day. Oh, I love it. So now I'm going to take some of the squash inside and I'm going to get dinner started. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.